honeys, and welcome to Destination Lifestyle, where I'm on a journey to an amazing lifestyle featuring influences of fashion and travel. And with that being said, honey, let's get into my ultimate summer perfume collection. Alright honeys, so we all know we love a good compliment when we have on our favorite perfume. So baby, it ain't even got to be my favorite perfume. If I'm wearing a fragrance and I paid a lot of money for it, all I want to hear is,
you smell like a rich bitch.
Oh! I love and that's on that. And that's on period, honey. I put my toes in this matcha today. I'm sorry, but I did. If you don't have my matcha recipe, go look it up on like one of the vlogs, because honey, it goes hard, bangs hard. Anyway, let's just get into it. So smelling good, smelling rich, smelling like that is one of my favorite things to do. It's a hobby, it's a sport at this point. Buying perfumes every other week, honey. And the thing about me is I love, j'adore a niche fragrance. I am not a kind of a designer house perfume girl, not that much. When I think of designer houses, I think of maybe like Chanel. I don't want to say that Chanel doesn't have nice perfumes. There's just like, it's just, there's one, they have one that's called beige. I kind of can get into the beige, but I don't own it, so apparently I don't love it that much. But it's a very nice, soft, nice fragrance. But when I think of niche perfumes, I think of, okay, some of the ones that I'm going to show you. I like my perfumes to come from like perfume houses, although there are a couple that I love, like Celine. Celine has a very, very, very nice a range of perfumes in their collection. They have got some heavy hitters, and I can think of a couple off the top of my brain. Dawn's Paris in black tie. Amazing, amazing fragrances. They have amazing prices also, but we're not going to talk about those. Let's just stick to what I have here in front of me that I've taken the time, that I've fallen in love with. So for summer, I love apparently this is what I love because I've collected these. I love a fruity, floral, crisp smell. Something that smells like, you know, crisp and clean, but yet floral and fruity. Did I not just say that? Apparently that's the case because that's what I've been collecting. And let's start off with one that I've had for a couple of years, and it would be this Miu Miu fragrance here. This Miu Miu fragrance, it's, when I remember buying it in Paris a few years ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I smelled it, it was giving. I had a vacation that I had planned that was coming up. It was I was going to the Maldives, right? And when I smelled it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my vacation fragrance. So when I was introduced to this fragrance here is called Miu Miu's Fleur de Lait, which is flower of milk, so to say, or something. It translates something like that. But this perfume is so fresh, and I'm going to tell you it. This says the top notes are juicy mango. That's apparently what I fell in love with, the mango. That's the fruitiness of it. Osmanthus and coconut milk. So it's the coconut. Like, this fragrance is definitely giving summer vibes, and when I sprayed it on, this is how I felt, period. I can just see, it gives, like, if you spray it and you smell it, it gives you're walking out of the water on the beach. You know, it gives you that nice, sexy, peachy, mango, James Bond feel. And that's what I was feeling. It was giving James Bond, baby. It was giving Halle Berry, baby. Halle Berry. It was definitely giving this. And this is the vacation that I wore this scent on. And it was like, yeah, my chef's kiss, honey. So one thing about me, like, I am not afraid to shop for a vacation, like, all the way around, baby. The fragrance has got to match, like, especially in the summertime. Like, I need it to come through. I need the fragrances to fragrance. I need my walk by scent to hit you before I hit you. You know, that's how I want to be. smelling like a rich chick. All right, honey, so this next one, it gives tropical. It gives, like, when I first smell this fragrance, I already know I'm about to spray this on right now. But when I first smelled the fragrance, I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never smelled anything like it. And when I say I've never smelled anything like it, it's because it's giving mango and pineapple, and then an undernote of peony. I love a peony flower. I was like, oh my God, karaoke heart, karaoke heart, karaoke heart, karaoke heart, karaoke heart, honey. If you don't buy anything out of the collection that I'm telling you about, karaoke heart is so grown, so sexy, and so fruity. Honey, yes, I remember being in Paris and I had karaoke. I had karaoke heart on. I was in the Saint Laurent store and the young lady was like, oh my God, you smell so good. I was like, and then I had to turn on the camera and I was like, what did you just say to me? She says like, oh my God, you smell so good. Because I was wearing karaoke heart, honey. This fragrance definitely gives your walk by. It's definitely hitting them before you even arrive. It arrives in the room first. So if you are looking for something that projects, stays all day, it's giving, like, I was wearing this in the winter time too, but it's definitely I feel like it's probably primarily a summer scent, but don't be afraid to wear it in the winter because she's that girl and she stands on her own. So yeah, juice boxes, karaoke heart. I will buy this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and twice on Sundays. So definitely get into, I'm not sure where they sell this. I'll definitely link all these perfumes, but especially at the specialty niche perfume stores, you can find them online. I'm wondering if you can find them at Neiman Marcus. I'm not sure, but I did get this at the Printemps in Paris, which they actually have a Printemps in New York now. But yeah, definitely this fragrance right here, heavy hitter, heavy hitter. If you don't believe anything I say today, if you never believe anything I even say on this platform, karaoke heart is definitely that girl. It's giving grown woman sexy, fruity. Yeah, with don't forget the panties. Okay, honey, so this next house, his fragrances are known to project, and from cult faves like A Portrait of a Lady. I was actually wearing this scent and someone thought I was wearing Portrait of a Lady. I was like, no, actually I'm not wearing Portrait of a Lady, but I am wearing something from that same perfumer, and that would be Frederic Malle times Acne Studio. They sell this in Acne as well as the Frederic Malle boutique, as well as, you know, other places. But this perfume here is definitely one to be reckoned with. Hey, honey, so to stay on trend with the fruity and sexy vibes, let me just tell you what it says on the site. It says a large amount of aldehydes, rose, violet, and a touch of orange blossom, accords of vanilla and peach. You have your orange and your peach, and then your vanilla and your rose. Oh my gosh. I don't know why, but I just cannot get away from a rose. This fragrance definitely, and it definitely is, you know, kind of maybe more on the more expensive side, right under $500 I think, but it's, I guess, use it on special occasion. I don't know, y'all, just be spraying. I have so many perfumes, y'all. We're gonna have to take a tour of my little perfume vault. When my friends come over to my house, they're like, that's the first place they go, and then they start spraying stuff. So it's fun for me to watch, you know, them do it, and we just get into it. I was like, have you smelled this one? Try this one. You know, I love it. I love it. It's my thing. I love it. But yeah, Acne Studios. Don't forget about Acne Studios. All right, honeys, so this next scent is like nothing to play around with either. It's giving fruity, but yet a grown woman fruity. And with that being said, one of my favorite fruits is a peach. So we have the Peche Mirage by Guerlain. and it is definitely peachy. It's like, the description says peach and leather. And I'm already wearing perfume today. What am I wearing today? Oh, I know what I'll tell you what I'm wearing today when I get to it. So, but honey, I'm not afraid to mix. And it's so fresh. The leather is more subtle, but the peach is more out there. That's the first thing you smell, is definitely the peach. So with that being said, this is definitely one to have in your collection. This is a smaller bottle that I have. I'm trying to maybe purchase smaller bottles sometimes, because there's no way I could obviously wear all of the fragrances that I have. And with that being said, I've just been collecting the smaller bottles, and the price is like not the most affordable price. I could, like, Guerlain does not play. I'm saying, like, this bottle is probably not this bottle, but Guerlain, since this collection, it runs you about a good almost $500 for a bottle. And I have another cult favorite from Guerlain. This same collection here would be, I think it's Tobacco Honey. That Tobacco Honey gives Tobacco Honey. Guerlain is that girl when it comes to fragrances. And another one, Fève Gourmand. Oh, Fève Gourmand, it gives like that sexy chocolate. Definitely, if you've never stepped into the house of Guerlain, definitely go. I would say go. Like, if you're in Paris, definitely go to the Saint Honoré location, because they really take care of me, and I'm sure they'll take care of you too. But it's laid out, like, you will just get so confused on like the perfume that you want. And I own another one, I can't think of the name of it, but definitely Guerlain is definitely a house to be reckoned with when it comes to perfume, because they really, I feel like, put their all in it. It's a beauty house. It's a beauty house. So they are definitely coming with it, with the Peche Mirage. I love it, love it, love it. And I definitely love this little bee. This little bee here gives that little bee that the Gucci always uses. It almost looks like the same bee. I don't know, whatever. It's probably owned by LVMH. I'm not sure, but it probably is. I would not be surprised, because LVMH, they have the heavy hitters when it comes to like fashion and beauty. They're definitely associated with the heavy hitters. Okay, honey, so this last scent that I have is a cult favorite. When I first smelled it, I was like, my sister was telling me about it, and I was like, okay, when I go into Neiman Marcus, I'll smell it or whatever. And I did, and I was not a fan. I was not a fan. It's not that it smelled, it was just okay to me, because I was at that point that I have way too many fragrances that I'm just buying fragrances just to buy fragrances. So I was like, yeah, it's okay, you know, it's not all of that. Then I smelled this young lady on an airplane, on a flight. I knew it was her. She was like 2 rows up from me, and I think I probably went to the lavatory and I smelled it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, when I walked by her, I smelled it, and then I came back by and I was like, oh my gosh, this has got to be this lady. This lady had on this most amazingly beautiful pink cashmere sweater. It was in the winter time. She had a pink cashmere sweater, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know it's you. I know it's you. It's your perfume. Like, what are you wearing? And then she told me, I was like, oh my gosh. She was like, and then she pulled it up on her phone, and I'm just like stooping down, like bending down there, like, about, yeah, baby, you about to give me this fragrance. I'm about to listen. And so she told me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you smell amazing. And I was like, and she was like, oh my God, you know, it's kind of, you know, expensive. And she just didn't know, like, girl, I'm gonna spend some money on the perfume. But yeah. And then I smelled it again. I got the fragrance, you know, whatever. But this is when I know that I really love the fragrance, because I smelled it again, and I was in the Maldives at this resort, and then this couple walked by. I was like, oh my gosh, she smells amazing. Like, she was like over there, all the way over there, and I just the wind must have come, and it's, you know, came by, and I was like, oh my gosh, her walk by wind, but she was way over there. I shouldn't have smelled it, but the wind blew it to my nose. And so I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I went like and asked her, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what fragrance are you wearing? And she didn't speak English. She was like Middle Eastern, but her husband did. And her husband, you know, told her the compliment, you know, she was like, thank you. And then she pulled it up on her phone, the fragrance she was wearing, and it was Delina exclusive. This perfume is a favorite. Like, it's earned its spot, because it definitely is fan favorite, like cult favorite, fan favorite, whatever. Like, she is that girl. So if you are into roses, this is definitely a high power perfume rose. And honey, hits every single time. I will buy this perfume again. And I don't really like to buy a lot of perfumes over because I have like way too many, but this is one I would definitely buy again and again and again. When you smell it, it's giving, look, I have roses right here. It goes hand in hand. It smells like an expensive rose for sure. It definitely smells like an expensive rose, and it's very grown. It's very sexy. I know, like, I pulled out all of the fruity, grown, and sexy fragrances for you honeys. So if you are looking for something for the summer, a summer fragrance, I suggest dive into this collection that I just showed you, because honey, you cannot go wrong. Everything that I showed you projects, so it should last all day long. It should last you a good 8 hours, and if you maybe have to reapply, then reapply it, but it should last like way past 8 hours. All right. And one last thing, I'm going to show you my newest fragrance that I got when I was in Turkey, and it is when I went to Turkey, I didn't take any perfume because I knew I'd gone to a perfume store in Turkey before. This is very specific one. It catered to, like, I guess like these Turkish perfumes, and I knew, and I didn't buy anything the first time. And I knew, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to miss that chance, because I thought I would go back to the store, and I didn't. And I knew exactly where that store was, and I knew I wanted a Turkish rose perfume. I walked out of that store with an extract. The extract was actually, I think it may have been like 160 euro, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. But I walked out with that fragrance, and it is Oud Zeyna. This is it here. Let's see if we can get it to focus. If not, I'll put a picture of it. But this fragrance is giving like all kinds of Turkish rose. Yep, I'm gonna spray this one on too. This smells like really nice. I think the I guess it could be kind of unisex, not really, but the bottle that it comes in, it's not that cute to me. It's definitely not that cute to me, but it smells so cute. It's giving grown cute. But this is the newest perfume to my collection, and it's an extract. I love an extract. First of all, that's the first thing I look for in perfumes. If it's an extract, that's a check for it right then. But yeah, this is that girl. I love to get a perfume from where I'm going, and especially if I'm in Turkey, baby, give me something Turkish rose. Okay. All right, honey. So those are my the unique fragrances that I have for my summer collection. I have a few more, but of course I can't show you honeys everything at one time, and we'll come back next week for another dose. Maybe not next week, maybe a week after that. I'm gonna be traveling, y'all. I'm about to be traveling so much. But anyway, thank you honeys so very much for listening to my rant about something that I love, perfumes that's so high on the list for me, for things that I love. If you are not following me yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I can promise you honey, it's free. I ain't gonna charge you anything. It's totally free. So go ahead and subscribe now. If you have not liked this video yet, go ahead and like it. If you own one of these perfumes, like the video, because you know I know what I'm talking about. If you plan on buying one of the perfumes, like the video. If you don't even wear perfume, guess what? Like the video now. Also, if you're not following me on other platforms, you kind of are missing out, because that's where I kind of, like, especially like on Instagram, I kind of hit Instagram before. My content hits Instagram a little before it hits YouTube. Even though I love YouTube, it just takes me time because it's long form content. It takes me a little more time to get the content together. Usually when I'm traveling, I don't really say where I am. I'm probably gone when I do post it on Instagram though, but still you'll know, okay, so she just left Turkey, or she just left Japan, she just left Italy, you know, something like that. But with that being said, thank you, honeys, so very much for giving me your time today. I'm going to see if I can chop this up so small, so that it's not a long video at all. But all right, honeys, thank you, and I will see you, honeys, on the flip side. Bye.